Yo, 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 DoPLgang, we are back at it once again here at the Doppel Arcade. You know him, you love him. He is our Street Fighter in training, but today we're really digging deep. So everybody say hello to the boy who was born in the woods, raised in the woods, born and
Still
raised in the woods, grew up in the woods. Say hello to TDK. How you doing, man?
What's up, guys? I'm good. I feel like I'm walking through the woods blindly as I learn how to play Street Fighter 2 the proper way. Of course, I played it as a kid. I feel like I'm approaching it from a new perspective, which is under the tutelage. Is that the right use of that word?
Tutelage. I'm kidding.
Tutelage?
I'm kidding. It's
I don't think that's correct. Under the guidance, the strong hand of Ray, and I'm trying to parlay his Miyagi into my Daniel-san, into my actual son. I have some questions. I need some help. So masterclass me.
That's right, folks. It's time for our first edition of Fighting Game Masterclass. TDK has some questions. I have some answers. I also just want to break down terminology throughout this series. First, explore archetypes in fighting games and the ones that exist specifically in the original Street Fighter or Super Street Fighter series, to kind of help him get a good understanding of what kind of character might be suited best for him. So I think that's a good place to start. TDK, what characters have you tried so far?
Yeah, okay. So, God, this is gonna be so lame for you because it's not based on any sort of technicality, but, I'm a kid from the 90s. I love Ryu. Like, everyone loves Ryu, right? I still get a kick out of a Hadouken. It just feels cool. And the Dragon Punch and, like, the spin kick. What is the down back kick? What do we call that?
Oh, you mean the Tatsumaki Senpukyaku.
I would believe it if you tell me that's true.
That is Japanese for hurricane kick.
Is that true?
I believe so.
No shit. You just pulled out the Japanese for hurricane kick? That's so impressive. One thing I think we should do in these masterclasses is the glossary of terms, right? I don't even speak the lingo necessarily just yet. But to answer your question, I switched to Ken because you know me, Ray. I'm a Leonardo. I'm a Cyclops. I like those main boring characters, right? The Ken Dragon Punch is like really useful because anytime he jumps, I can just Dragon Punch the shit out of him.
That, my friend, is called an anti-air. The thing that separates a beginner to like an intermediate player, it's literally that one step. If you can stop someone from jumping in on you, you're already beating like 70% of people at the arcade, I feel like. I take great pride in my anti-airs. I've been working on this all my life. You cannot jump in on me.
So I'm making notes, of course, just for the listeners.
Please, by all means.
I'm making my own little glossary of terms here. I'm not proficient at anti-air. I know when I need it to happen, but it doesn't always happen yet. You know what I mean? I'm getting there.
So we're going to go with some real straight up 101. The first one being your main, which, you've heard before. Who's your main? I might switch mains, that kind of conversation. Your main is the character that you're picking, that you feel the most comfortable with, that in a pinch you switch over to because your secondary got beat. We're looking for your new main. And the archetype that you have gravitated towards so far, you and your son have both gravitated to Ryu and Ken, it comes from the term Shotokan, which is apparently like the style of fighting that Ryu and Ken have mastered, or that are practitioners of. That's the word I was looking for. Shotos now in 2026 have taken on kind of this term of like Cyclops is a Shoto. Totally. Captain America is a Shoto.
So, like, Shoto is basic leader archetype.
Kind of, but also like in fighting game terminology, it's like the baseline, the balanced character. He's not overpowered in one direction or the other. He's going to be a solid pick in any scenario. In Smash Brothers, Mario is a Shoto.
So hit me with all the main types. We got the Shotos, and that's your Ryus, your Kens, maybe even your Guile.
I'll tell you what Guile is in a second. Dan, Sakura, these characters don't exist in your Street Fighter.
Yeah,
but these are Shotos. They have a Dragon Punch, they have a Fireball, they have a Hurricane Kick. They have very similar basic normal punches and kicks.
If I may, I don't want to jump too far ahead. So Hanzo's drawn to Balrog, E Honda, these type of bigger characters.
Right.
T-Hawk a little bit.
Okay, so there are subcategories, right? But for now, I'm going to bunch Honda, Balrog, and Guile into one category, and they are charge characters. And there are more in Street Fighter. But charge characters are an important one for you to know and kind of distinguish. The way you do their special moves is entirely different from other characters. You hold a direction and then you press the opposite direction and punch or kick. And that's how you do a charge character special move.
That to me seems like more of a commitment than a down forward punch or, down back kick or whatever. Do those special moves do more damage because they take longer to execute?
It depends on what the character is, but someone like Guile is like an impenetrable fortress. His 2 and only special moves he has are very strong. And so the disadvantage you have to have is that you can't move forward while using these moves. It's a keep away thing. If Guile gets the offensive advantage, he's got a big advantage over anybody, because if he even hits you once, Guile can do what they call turtling. He can sit back in the corner of the stage and wait for an opponent because he's holding down and he's holding back. And those are the first 2 steps of both of his moves. If you're holding back and you press forward, Guile shoots a sonic boom. Opponent has to jump over a sonic boom or block it.
Right.
So eventually they're going to have to jump. They're getting frustrated, like, I'm going to jump towards you. But guess what? Guile is also already holding down. In that scenario, you press up and kick. Guile does his flash kick and knocks you out of the air because it's his anti-air.
You're really talking me into Guile.
I mean, at its very basic core, I think Guile is the character that will piss any beginner off more than any other character. It just feels impossible until you start figuring out some counters to it.
Okay,
I would say.
So we got a Shoto, and then we have the charges.
And then we have zoners, which is Guile. A zoner is a character that just does a really good job of keeping people from getting in. The disadvantage that zoners have is that once someone is in on you, you're in big trouble. So your job as a zoner is to make sure that they never get that opportunity.
So Guile is a charge and a zoner.
Yes.
But in the context of the charge conversation, because we spoke mostly about Guile, tell me more about E Honda and Balrog, like about the just pure charge people.
E Honda has his headbutt, which the input is hold back, press forward, and punch. He also has like a splash move, and I'm not sure if it's in Super Street Fighter, but I think it is. Jumps up and like sumo butt slams you if you hold down and press up and kick. It probably is,
but I probably haven't seen him do it because button mashing 5-year-old.
Right. On the subject of button mashing, he has his 100 hand slap.
When you have a 5-year-old who's playing button mash style and he does do on accident a fireball, a real fireball, and it sets me on fire, the look on his face of like the power, like he just, you know what I mean? Like the power he embodies is so priceless. It's the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
It's that mastery thing, man. Yeah. Once you start learning and doing the thing your brain actually wanted to, it is one of the best feelings. Another important word, it's called neutral. Obviously, there's an advantage state, but you're in neutral at the beginning of every round. You're both vying for position, trying to sneak an advantage in. Sometimes in a match, you'll have the advantage and then you'll break free of that and then you'll reset to neutral.
It's so much more ping pong. For listeners, the history of me and Ray was there's certainly video games and origin stories of Captain Planet and the Planeteers, but it's also ping pong. We really got into ping pong for a while, and I'm still there. Like I'm still playing. I'm addicted. My current workplace, they have one upstairs, and I'll try and sneak a game in once a day if I can. And it's really just what you said. It's vying for control. And if you get ahead a couple, you really are in an attack mode. And there's like this kind of
momentum.
You know what I mean? Momentum. Yes. Thank you. There's this momentum that if you lean into it, you're unstoppable. And sometimes it switches, and it's exactly what you're talking about.
Even during a single point, right? If you're just volleying back and forth, you're kind of in neutral. But the moment 100%. Someone accidentally lobs it a little too high, okay, now you're at a disadvantage. You might get knocked down. It's all relatable. It's like chess. It's like once you've mastered your inputs, it turns into a game versus the opponent because you already know what they're capable of at its fullest potential. But now it's like, okay, how can I trick them? How can I bait them into doing that thing so I can punish them for it? They think I'm going to do this. They think I don't know that they're going to do that.
Okay, so we got Shotos, we got chargers, we got zoners.
Oh, grapplers are huge, right? We have grapplers. Zangief and T-Hawk are definitely like the resident grapplers in Street Fighter 2. They're slow. They have the hardest time getting in, especially against a zoner. Dalsum versus Zangief is bad news for Zangief because...
Yeah, Dalsum got the long reach.
Right. He's a zoner and a good zoner because you don't need special moves. You just press a button and he keeps you away. Zangief's trying to get in. Dazzle won't let him in. But Zangief's strength versus every character is that if you let him in even once, he does a spinning pile driver and it's like more than a quarter of your health. And now you're just playing a guessing game. Is he going to throw me? Is he going to hit me? Should I jump? Should I not? It's scary to be on defense versus Zangief up close to you. And so that's the strength of a grappler.
T-Hawk has that jump and like diagonal in, like that hard angle in.
Condor Spire, I believe.
Yeah, like he busts his way into your zone. That gets me a lot.
The answer to that is a couple of things. And again, really cool thing about Street Fighter is that every move has a way to counter it. And it's different for every character almost, right? So for T-Hawk, you can anti-air it with the right moves. But also, if you block it, his recovery animation from it is pretty slow. Big term in fighting games, punish.
Sacrificing the chip damage, then punishing for the mistakes.
Look at you go. Look at you go. A walking, talking Street Fighter dictionary. Exactly.
Okay, so are those our mains? The Shotos, the Charge, the Zoner, and the Grapplers?
And then there's Rushdown. That's the last one.
Rushdown. I
would say like in terms of the original archetypes. And I'm probably missing some.
What's a Rushdown?
In Street Fighter 2, that would be Chun-Li. Confuses the hell out of you. What side is she on? What side is she gonna be on? Is it high? Is it low? Other games call them pixies, but they're just small and fast and pesky, but they also lose health fast.
So you have to be precise, I'm assuming. You have to get in, you got to get out, you have to know where you're exposed. This is your main, if I'm not.
This is me. This is me for sure. I love a Rushdown. I love a mix-up character.
Are you Chun-Li in Street Fighter 2?
And not in Street Fighter 2, because I think I discovered this about myself more around Street Fighter 4. But in Street Fighter 2, if I need to beat someone, I'm actually a Shoto too. I think I go with Ryu or Ken. Oh. Yeah.
Is that because at that age you were like, Ken's
Ryu's that's just that's the character I spent all my time with as a kid, and so that's the character I know the best.
You just wanted to wear a gi, and you know,
exactly.
Didn't even matter. You didn't even want to be a black belt because you just wanted to have the red that Ryu had. Does he have a black belt with the red on the top?
Let me fix my glasses here. As the story goes, Ken and Ryu were sparring one day, and Ken accidentally cut Ryu. Ken felt bad and took off his hair tie, put it on Ryu's head as a band-aid. Ryu's worn it ever since.
Oh, that's cool. I'm excited for the new movie, and partly because I don't know the mythology all that well. I'm just excited to kind of dive in. One more super nerdy question. Now we're going to colors of outfits. One thing that's really fun is on Street Fighter 2, at least Super Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo, every single button is a select for a different color of an outfit. There's like 7 different outfit choices. In the context of you and I talking about years later, customizing, characters on football games, baseball games, even Tony Hawk. This is an early version of that. It's an early version of like, oh, I'm going to be the dark blue Ken, which is my favorite.
Yeah, people take their characters and the color selection pretty seriously. There was a top player by the name of Banana Ken, and it was because he wore like Ken's yellow. Smash Brothers in particular, there was a grudge match where these two Star Fox mains, they both use the same color Star Fox. The bet that they made was like, if you lose, you can never use my color again. You choose a different color Fox if you lose to me. Self-expression, right? You can't customize it fully, but it's a great way to kind of express yourself a little further.
I wish I could make my own character. Is that sacrilegious? Because
oh no, Street Fighter 6 lets you make your own character.
I can choose like what archetype I want. I'm gonna be a Shoto. Like I can pick the kind of the outfits and the colors.
Yeah, you can make TDK. The only caveat is that you can only fight your character versus other people's characters. You can't fight Bison. It's kind of broken. You can make your character really powerful, so it wouldn't be fair. Yeah.
You went to Japan recently.
I mean, I wish it was recently. Time flies.
A couple years. Did you spend a lot of time over there getting into the scene?
So it was for our honeymoon. So it wasn't like really anything I could really dive into. However, one of the big gifts Kim imparted on me during our trip is that we went to Taito Station, where like a bunch of top Street Fighter 4 players were. We passed by it and Kim was like, all right, go ahead. See you in 2 hours. Played against a bunch of top players at Street Fighter 4 in Japan. And
that's epic. How'd you do?
I mostly lost. The one match that I take like a lot of pride in is that I forget his name, but Japanese Sea Viper main played against my Sea Viper. I won, which like is cool. Some people frown upon what you call a mirror match. Another piece of the dictionary for you is when you play the same character as your opponent. They call it a mirror match.
Yeah, but what if someone's playing your main? That is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. People don't like mirror matches pretty historically.
Because you want to feel like you're the only one who can do this?
Probably there's a little personal involved, but also counterplay is different because the answer for everything is the same on both sides. And so I don't know, it's just like an awkward dance compared to like a standard kind of match.
This has been educational, dude. I have a plan. I'm going to master my Shoto, and then I'm going to move on to my zoner or my zoner with Guile. And I think I'm going to work specifically on my anti-airs and my neutrals. And if I think I know what that means is my kind of diffusing what they do.
Yeah, and that's for the next episode, listeners. We will dive into footsies, the main tenet of neutral in Street Fighter and most games. Footsies and spacing.
Maybe I'll get a late night garage session in real quick, just against the CPU, just to see what I can implement right now while it's fresh.
Right. I'm feeling Guile for you.
I mean, Jean-Claude Van Damme was Guile, right? Bloodsport was like the Bible when I was growing up. So,
yep. Sir.
Yeah. The Kumite, come on.
My favorite line is, "You mean you're not going to call the cop?"
God, also, this is supposed to be young JCVD, right? This looks like young, I don't know,
Shia LaBeouf or something.
Yes, I love Shia LaBeouf. I'm going to go on record. I know it's controversial these days, but like one of the best actors. But yeah, you don't put young Shia LaBeouf as Jean-Claude Van Damme in his primes.
The correlation of, say it! And Shia LaBeouf's, just do it!
Yeah. It's maybe Shia LaBeouf is a big JCVD fan and we don't know about it. I have to know, Ray. Top 3 Jean-Claude Van Damme films.
Okay.
Just off the top.
Bloodsport, number 1. Kickboxer, number 2. Yeah, it's just one I saw a lot as a kid. And
did you not like the Street Fighter movie?
I remember thinking it wasn't good.
I remember going to the video store and renting Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat with my friend and being like, this is the greatest weekend of our lives. We played both the games and we watched both the movies. And it was like, we did it. We're done.
Yeah, Bloodsport, Kickboxer, and then I don't know, maybe like Hard Target, maybe Time Cop. We'd watch Bloodsport and Kickboxer all the time. And Only the Strong, which isn't Jean-Claude Van Damme, but I loved Only the Strong. It's like a capoeira movie.
Okay. About 15 years ago, it's been a long time now, maybe 10 years ago, he came out with a movie. He played Jean-Claude Van Damme in Brussels, where he's from, and he walks into a bank, and the bank is getting robbed when he walks in as himself. And then a real movie happens where he becomes Jean-Claude Van Damme we all know and love, and he diffuses the bank robbery and roundhouse kicks and splits that we're all talking about. But in the middle of the movie, part of the movie is that he's like battling with Steven Seagal, his agent, like, give me that part. And then, he's down on his luck. He needs money. He wants to see his little girl, and he's trying to be a good father. And he's stuck in this bank, and he's this bank robbers. It's all fictional, but it's really Jean-Claude Van Damme. And in the middle of the movie, he's like sitting in a chair, and then the chair just goes up to like the rafters, and like there's a camera on him, and you see him just reflect on his life and his fatherhood, and then he just breaks down and he has this monologue and he cries, and it's moving and beautiful. And then the chair goes back down and the movie continues, and you're like, did Jean-Claude Van Damme just win an Oscar? Has he been an incredible actor this whole time? And anyone who's not seen this movie, it's called JCVD.
And I remember reviews getting really strong critical acclaim when it released.
Crazy. I was so like, we did it. Our generation did it. We proved he's awesome. You know what I mean?
Kumite.
Yeah.
Kumite.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Getting chills right now.
All right, man. We've got way more to learn. Plenty of time to do that another day. Round 1 is officially complete. I can't wait for TDK to learn along with some of our listeners. If you're following along with TDK, get on that Street Fighter. I would invite you guys to maybe spar with TDK one of these days too.
Let's do it. Find me at Barcade.
It was fun hanging out, TDK, as always. My fellow Shotos, my fellow Street Fighters. We will see you at the next one. Thanks for hanging out. Peace. Hey everybody, it's Ray here. Just wanted to thank you for tuning into the Dire Pass Level Podcast. If you want to hang out and join us for the next episode, make sure to like and subscribe. That way you're notified when our next episode releases. If you really liked it, you'd do us a solid if you left us a review. Reviews are a great way to spread the word about our podcast, and the more gamers to share these stories with, the better. All right, we'll see you next week. Have a good one. There we go.